Alright, so check out this giant variety. By the way, anyone playing along at home, yeah, 3 homeworks tonight, but they should be pretty straightforward once we... Actually, I don't think those titles are correct. Sorry, I feel like I copied over incorrect. Let me double check what just happened. Maybe? I think they're right. They're at least close, but trust the due dates. So look at this lay of points, like the variety of, if we start here, where are we gonna end up when we make one full rotation? Like, guys, I hope that most of you have, like, ridden a bicycle or something like that. But let's imagine, I'll even put an arrow on my mug. Let's imagine that we start with this on the ground. And we go to roll it one full rotation. Do you think it's going to go as big as the bottle itself is? Like the width of the bottle? So you think we start arrow down, we roll a whole rotation, it will not make it this far? Further than that. Okay, so no meaning no, it goes farther than that. Okay, so what approximation can we make relatively of, like, well, if I know how big the thing is, it'll go about that far. Some of us had some pretty low estimates down here. So as you keep going, we formalize this a bit more. Go ahead and keep working. I wanted us to get to a certain point, then we'll come back together and look at your paper. Guys, anytime I give you a handout, that is not like do it now. It is we will end up doing it together, right? So I saw some people trying to rush and like answer things. You do not need to do that without us. All right, some great answers happening here with what information do you need to know? Remember, you guys are anonymized because I'm recording. If you knew the length around the entire circle, circumference, ooh, some people flexing, they know the vocab, you could determine where the dot would end up. The circumference of the circle is the size of the circle and where it would be halfway, so I can get a basic idea of where it would end up. I'd like to know the circumference. It seems like this is a decent enough time to talk about some vocabulary. So that was just to get your attention. I'm going to go ahead and unpause because I trust you guys to stop what you're doing for a moment. If you don't have a pencil, fix that issue. Who can help me with a definition for radius? And you guys are going to write this in your own words. You do not have to write what I write. Kyrie. Yeah, like the halfway point from middle to the edge. Lydia, how would you say it?
How far away the edge circle is.
Yeah, Harrison, how would you say it? Okay. Yeah, Jack?
Halfway point for the diameter.
Yeah, halfway across the diameter. Now, that's assuming you know what the diameter is, right? So I'm going to make my radius just distance from center to edge of circle. But you can define it however you want, as long as it's accurate. Distance from center to edge. At least for me, that's how I'm defining it. Right, and you've got it over here on your picture. Now what about diameter then, Harrison?
The longest possible straight line inside the circle from one edge to the other.
Yes, absolutely correct. Probably more words than we would have to put down. But, Madeline? Distance from one edge to the other. But what about chord? Also looks like it's one edge to the other. There's one other thing that we could say that would clarify it's not that, it's this. Ooh, so the center, right? Every circle has a center. So diameter, you can say a whole long definition, you can say a short definition, but you got to make sure you go through the center. It is the longest distance across the circle it's edge to edge through the center. Like, you can say this in a couple different ways. Lydia?
I just put how wide the whole circle is. Does that work?
As long as you know that it's going through the center. So I'm going to say distance across through the center.
With line from edge to edge going through center.
Yeah, technically, as long as you say that it's a line segment. And that's why I'm saying, like, distance. Because a line could be continuous, like secant lines. And then circumference. Not a knight of the round table, although that would make sense. Because circumference and circum. What's circum mean? What's that prefix mean? If you circumnavigate something. If you circumscribe. Circum means you went around. So this, if circum means around, this is just distance around the circle. Crust is pie dough. What? Was Mr. Hudson just hungry when he was making these notes? Anyone ever heard crust is pie dough before? You guys are unpaused. Go ahead and keep working. We'll come back to this whole crust is pie dough thing. We'll come back to that. Go ahead and keep working. We'll see if you can figure it out. If you think you have figured out why I wrote this here, I want you to stick up a hand and try to share it with us. Crust is pie dough. Has Mr. Hudson just lost his mind? He's also talking about himself in the third person, which is somewhat suspicious. I don't trust people that talk about themselves in the third person. Famous mathematician. All right, keep working. I'm going to give you at least a couple more minutes to try to figure out what I meant with crust is pie dough. Can you put it all? Can you explain why that is written there?
Circumference is pi times diameter.
Woo! Harrison wins. Hold up, Harrison. Say it again.
Circumference is pi times diameter also.
Crust C is equals pi dough pi times diameter. Guys, imagine a pie, right? The crust around the edges. Yes, I know, there's also crust on top and bottom. Ignore that crust. So think about pizza, right? A pizza's a pie. It is. Crust is pie dough is a memory trick for circumference is pi times diameter. But wait, there's another way we can say this that is not crust is pie dough. What is the diameter? The diameter is double the radius, so we could also say, I guess I'll write in red since up here we put diameter. So we could also say, or circumference is pi times 2 times radius. I kind of like the pi d better. But you can also say circumference is pi times 2 times the radius. All right, go ahead and keep going for a couple more minutes. Just make sure you've got those written down whenever you get a chance. Wow. This might be the first time a majority of you have missed something in Desmos. Slide 7. Many of you. Wow. the slide setting. So, you don't know for sure. Well, I'm not sure. Did this give you feedback, right or wrong? So, you're synced to me. Yeah, you're synced to me. So, if the diameter is 4 units. Okay, if they're giving us diameter, we can go ahead and use the crust is pi dough, little memory trick. But what is pi? Yeah, guys, some people have some people say, oh, pi's like 3. Yeah, if we want to round away like any accuracy. We do not want to round away much accuracy. We definitely don't want to round away all of it. So the most rounded we like to go with pi is 3.14. We often use more than that. If you, in your calculator, type in pi, it has more than just 3.14. And it has more than that, too. Like, it'll show me all of these places, but inside the calculator, it's got more. But if we want to all be getting the same answers, we can agree that we'll use 3.14. Okay, times our diameter, 12.56. So 12.5, or if we want to round with accuracy, 12.6. Try that now. Actually, while we're paused, I know it only goes to the 10th place. So you could do 12.5 or 12.6 is what I mean. Who what? Oh, it only gave you one shot. Oh, well, womp womp, sad trombone. So while we're together, let's answer these questions real quick. Take 30 seconds, get a head start on me, because then I'm doing random cards. Let's answer these questions real quick. Make sure we know what we're doing. On the paper, so we've got something written down to reference. Ooh, we could up here make a little note. Diameter is 2 times the radius. We could also make a note. The radius is half of the diameter. I think I've given you more than 30 seconds. Sorry, Jack, for my timing not being accurate. I said have a 30-second head start, and it's been more than 30 seconds. Aaron, help me out. If the radius is 3, what's the diameter? Yeah, and we'd say 6 units. Right? Chase, help me out. If the radius is 8, what's the diameter? 16 units. Right? Madeline, if the diameter is 10, what's the radius? 5. And that's still units because they didn't give us anything else. Let's do at least one of these together before, so I might as well pause you guys real quick. Did you guys have a chance to work on any of these? Yeah? So I just wanted to check before I keep, if you personally need to pass, that's totally fine. Kyrie, help me with, what are they showing me here? What piece of the circle? They're showing the diameter. So if that's the diameter, what then is our radius? 9 centimeters, right? Rowan, what is that, or how can we figure out the circumference? Ooh, yeah, we want to take that 18. Hey, guys, here's your, here's your, like, silver bullet. You guys ever read vampire books? Silver bullet will take down a vampire. Werewolf. Sorry, I'm trying to pull things from my brain too fast. It's a wooden stake that takes down the vampire. So, werewolf, silver bullet, takes him out. One shot, right? In con, when it asks you for your circumference, and it says that you can give your answer in exact terms of pi, right here. This is the sort of fine print. It's on the back, but don't worry about it. Like, we'll get to that in a moment. When you can give your answer in exact terms of pi, guys, you could literally just leave 18 pi as 18 pi. We talk in terms of pi in math sometimes. Or, if you want to go to a decimal, 18 times 3.14, 56.52 centimeters. So likewise, Kira, what's this circle give us? The second one? The 7. What is that? What part of the circle is that? That is our diameter. So what's our radius then? 3.5 centimeters. Let's get used to caring about those. Nolan, what could we say for our circumference?
7 pi.
Yeah, we could literally just say 7 pi. Or, if we do the multiplication, one of y'all might be faster than me.
21.98.
There we go. 21.98 centimeters. And then, of course, let's go class answer on this, because those always make me feel good. What piece of the circle is this? The radius. So if radius is 4.2, class, what's diameter? 8.4 centimeters. And the circumference? 8.4 pi. And we would still label that centimeters. Even if we're using pi, we would still label that centimeters. 26. And again, centimeters. Questions on working circumference, radius, diameter? Alright, I bet that's enough for this one. Let's go jump into... I forget the title of the other one. Oh yeah, y pi. Y pi. So we should all be leaving, rolling along, getting into y pi, and I'm giving you a couple minutes a head start. And then we will be on the back. Tricky. If you are past slide 1, personal... now I can't make that statement. Most everyone did not have slide 1 right. It's okay if you leave it wrong, but if you care about personal pride, go back and double check it. There's a trap door with how they typed something. Okay, 3 people have it right now. I'm not saying who. We'll talk about it together in a few minutes. I'm letting you have time to challenge yourself. Guys, this activity is one of the cooler activities that I've ever seen Desmos be able to do with understanding why something happens. So what I'm showing you on our worksheet is not what we're seeing in Desmos, because I wanted to show you the other way that we can talk about this. This is when I put away my pizza leftovers, right? This is when I take my pizza leftovers, try to put them into a rectangle container at my house. No, literally, you put one slice up and one slice down, pointed so the points point away from each other, and it literally makes a rectangle essentially. If your slices are the same size. Because then it fits in the container. So you're not waiting for me, guys. I don't know why it looks like so many of us are waiting on slide 2. Pick the size of your circle, then keep moving forward. If you type PI, it'll switch it to the pi symbol. Both in Desmos and in Khan. If you type PI, it switches it to the pi symbol. Now, if you guys want to care about the pride, here's your results from slide 1. 1 correct, 2 correct, 3, a couple people still on it. Let's talk about the trap door in slide 1. Anyone want to point out, oh yeah, this almost got me and then I avoided it? Lydia?
Well, it didn't almost, I didn't realize it was there until you said that there was a trap door, and I looked for a trap door.
Okay.
I'm sure a couple people did radius times pi.
Is that one of the things up here, radius times pi?
I don't know.
We're discussing this slide.
I know. I see it.
So you're not answering the question that I asked, is what you're saying.
I thought you were talking about slide 2.
So for this slide, nobody made you answer the question. Nobody made you raise your hand. Maybe next time listen. Now you're leaving, Harrison. I was starting to get nervous. I was like, you said you're leaving during math class. Kyrie.
I'm not sure if this is or not. the one that says 25 pi, the squared thing.
So before we can talk about why that's a trapdoor, let's pop back to here and make sure we all know what the area formula for a circle is. Area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. Which, if you don't remember what squaring does, it takes a value and multiplies by itself. But what doesn't get squared is the pi. And in this option, they accidentally squared their pi. We don't want to square our pi, we want to square our radius. I think that's probably the most wrong. What else is a trapdoor? Who can identify why something up here is up here, but it's wrong? Jack, you want to identify why? We know this one's wrong. We have said that's wrong. Get out of here.
10 pi.
Why is 10 pi wrong? What did they accidentally do? What is 10? Five's the radius here.
Oh, it's the no, not the circumference. I'm still trying to remember except the diameter.
Guys, 10 is the diameter. This is accidentally the circumference. Not the area, that's the circumference. No, wait, 78.5 compared to 25 pi. Anyone want to talk about the difference between these two and which one's more accurate and why? Ooh, Will, you haven't participated today.
I just like looked it up.
What do you mean looked it up? Like you calculated it? Or okay, so Will calculated it. Calculated what? Like what'd you type in?
3.14 times 25.
Okay, what'd you get?
78.5.
So Will says he did 3.14 times 5 squared, right? So like times 25. But is 3.14 what pi actually is? So if I do 25, right, our radius squared times the actual pi, times actual pi, which of these is more accurate or more precise? Yeah, the 25 pi, which is why this is our most accurate answer, because it didn't round anything. To get to 78.5, we had to round. So, hopefully you got to hear and looked at when we unrolled a circle. Guys, what would this... Stick with me. I'm going to get you out of here in 2 minutes, because that's what I got. You unrolled this circle. What would this distance be on your unrolled circle? Like, it doesn't matter what size your circle was. What part of the circle is that? Anybody? That's our radius. What part of your circle is this? That's your circumference. If we're doing a triangle, area is base times height divided by 2. Base is circumference. Height is radius. How do I find circumference? Can you stop? Like, sit back in your desk. We're not done. It's not time to pack up till teachers are done. This slows us down. I don't know if you haven't figured that out. This slows us down. Circumference was either pi times diameter, or diameter is 2 pi. Sorry, 2 times radius. Distracted now. What happens when you have a 2 on top and bottom? They cancel. What happens when we get pi times radius times radius? Oh yeah, that's our circle area formula. This is one of the reasons how you can get to a mathematical explanation why we're using pi. Now I'm done. 5 seconds to spare, whatever, or 55 seconds over. I don't really care. You guys need to know this. All right, have a great day, friends.